We just wrapped up week 13, and obviously tough losses for a lot of playoff contending wild card teams. But if there's one thing that sticks out of all the 13 weeks, and there's one thing that we know is that they struggle to win close games.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta talk.
Athletes Forum Podcast, Jamal Clay here, your host. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. We just wrapped up week 13 in the European League of Football, and man, Sunday was a blast. Sunday was a blast. We got some good games on Sunday. Hey, some good games Saturday. Shout out to the Enthroners getting a win. One of the few who called the Enthroners upset, right? Shout out to the Enthroners. They got out coached. They didn't play well, but they found a way. They found the win, and they will not be going winless. All right. And the only two winless teams that remain are the Cologne Centurions and the Helvetic Mercenaries. But that's beside the report. That's beside the point. Let's talk about week 13. Let's talk about Sunday specifically. Munich versus Madrid, particularly, right? Another thriller, another great matchup. These two games that these two teams gave us have been close, right? We already know we're getting Russell Tabor back for another 2 more seasons. I need Reece Sinnett back with Andrew Weidinger for another season, right? I need them back for at least one more year, because everything that we've seen and they've showed us this year, we need an encore performance. And this game was tough. I think is obviously Madrid struggled, down at the red zone a couple times, leaving probably at least 21 points on the board. But that's a kudos to Munich defense and what they were able to do and keeping Madrid out the end zone and forcing turnovers and playing that physical brand of football that you need to play 13 weeks into the season, right? And look, if there's one thing we found out about Madrid through the course of the season is that they struggle in close games, late close games, right? You think about week 1 versus Hamburg, even though they won that game 13-12, again, 5 close games, they won 1 game. You think about Frankfurt, a couple weeks later they lost, right? You think about the first Raiders game they lost, the Munich game they lost, this Munich game they lost. They're 1-4 in one possession games this season, right? So if they're not blowing you out, they're going to struggle to win close. Now, I don't know if it's getting tight. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's the players. Something that needs to be studied, but they're going to have to figure it out. Because you're not going to blow out Frankfurt. Right, they got Frankfurt Galaxy this upcoming week. Is going to be a hell of a game. You're not going to blow out Frankfurt, right? Frankfurt is a whole nother ball game. A team that beat you, and this is a better team than the team that beat you, right? Jamison Wang and Bijan Harris are 2 of the best midseason signees this year in the ELF. All right, Bijan Harris does it for another year. Last year, mid-season signing for the Cologne Centurions, balled out. This year, another mid-season signing for the Frankfurt Galaxy, currently is balling out. He's playing his best ball when his best ball is needed. And this Frankfurt Galaxy, it's a different team. And you're going to Frankfurt. You're going to Purple Hell to try to win a game to get into the playoffs. Another away game in Germany, coming off an emotional loss. I don't know how Munich does it. I don't know how Munich's going to do it, right? They're going to have to find a way because, everyone has to get involved. One guy that needs to get involved next week, Sexton Dragon. We need to see more of him next week. We saw a little bit of Juan Flores Calderon, Jordan Tordedia. Obviously, there's Cruikshank, C-League in the run game, but Eno Molina had a better or more impactful, at least in terms of touchdowns in the run game this game. But they're going to have to find a way. Reece Sinnett, again, all-time leading passer in the ELF, at least single season holder for passing yards. He plays smart ball, man. You gotta, there's a couple plays, there was a couple 4th downs. Munich goes, man, he runs for a 7-yard gain, or he knows when to use his legs and how to use his legs, and offensively, Munich is gonna be fine. Offensively, Madrid is gonna be fine. Defensively, they got to figure some things out. On the Munich side of the ball, Kyle Callahan, listen, I tell you, this guy's been calling a hell of a season. And I've been begging for the past 2 seasons, and I'm going to keep doing it. He deserves a head coach opportunity. I don't know what happened in Tirol. All right, things haven't been right since he left and he was the offensive coordinator. I know Munich's glad to have him. He at least needs to be in the conversations as a head coach, right? I mean, one of the top play callers. You think about Andrew Weidinger and Danny Mitchell. Kyle Callahan's right up there as well, right? Coach Shoup and Nordic again. Kyle Callahan is putting on a hell of a season, and he's proving that he's a former assistant coach of the year winner, but he's proving that he is one of the best in this league at what he does. And I want to give a shout out to him as well. So Madrid's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out. Another game, Prague struggled to win at home. Prague struggles to win at home. I don't know why. You're supposed to protect the crib. But they struggle every time to win at home, to close games out at home. All right, and they just wasn't able to get it done this week. They left a lot of meat on the bone in this game. Obviously, that on the first play in overtime, they throw the interception to the one and only again, Bijan Harris. Like, Prague's gonna have to. Their playoff chances are probably done. I'm gonna say it's they can still get in theoretically, but I think they're probably done. They'll get a win next week versus Helvetic and wrap up a 7-5 season. But the biggest question for Prague going into the offseason is how many guys are you gonna be able to bring back, right? And then how do you get better, right? How do you start crawling to like that playoff territory? We'll see how everything pans out there, but the struggles continue at home, but hopefully they could close it out at the crib next week versus, I think they play Helvetic. All right, Ryan Fire. Listen, I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know where this came from, but the Ryan Fire are coming out of nowhere. Harlan Kofi coming out of nowhere. Chad Jeffries, this is his third 300-plus passing game in the past couple of weeks, right? They got a big one this coming week versus Nordic, right? And Nordic's kind of in a sticky situation because what do you do if you're Nordic, right? You're probably on the verge of getting the 3 seed. If Vienna wins and Munich wins, Nordic has the 3 seed. So if you're Nordic and you have the 3 seed, you're playing the Rhine Fire. Do you rest your guys knowing that you have a wild card game against potentially the Rhine Fire, or do you try to knock the Rhine Fire out? That's a question that they're gonna have to figure it out. Obviously they're battling some injuries, but they're going to have to figure out what the game plan is going forward. Do you take the conservative route and play safe, rest some of the guys for the playoffs, or do you try to knock out your division foe in the Rhine Fire, who's playing some of the best ball right now? We're going to see how everything pans out. Obviously, both these teams took care of business. Rhine beats the Raiders. Nordic beats Hamburg. And they're on to a showdown down in Dusseldorf. So week 13 is going to be great. Week 14 is going to be even better, right? We already talked about it. We got Munich, Frankfurt. We got Paris versus Vienna. Paris, it's a win and you got to be in. Otherwise, it's not looking pretty. We got Rhine versus Nordic, right? We got some great games that are going to happen. Some great games that we're going to have to tune in for as we head down this final stretch, heading into the postseason after week 14. Do want to give a shout out to the Athletes Forum winner for the ELF Championship tickets. Tickets have been sent out, confirmed, received, and just want to give a shout out to our special winner. So thank you all for tuning in, but a lot of questions need to be answered sooner rather than later. Otherwise, it's bye-bye, good night. Time to go to Cancun. Athletes Forum Podcast.